I'm Benjamin Bratton. I'm a professor at the University of California, San Diego, director of the Center for Design and Geopolitics. I was intrigued by the idea of the development of design platforms that would allow more people to work with what we call the source code of matter at a really fundamental level, in a way that would demystify it to a certain degree, and would allow for a new kind of interface layer to the synthetic biology, biotech revolution more generally, and would really allow us to work with this in this way. So if you think about, for example, the way in which computers, which software may have worked in the 60s or 70s, was really difficult to work with. It was difficult to make new things. It was difficult to do. You had to sort of become part of this priestly class that could understand this rarefied kinds of text, and increasingly we developed more easier and more intuitive interfaces on top of the code, different levels of abstraction on top of the code that allowed more people to be involved. The more people to be involved, the greater the value of the contributions that everyone made. One of the things about MATRYX I think is very exciting is also the way in which the potential impact it has on what we call platform economics. So platforms, you think of Uber or Airbnb or Google or any of these things, which are all great projects in and of themselves in principle. But the economics of platforms is something I don't think we've really worked out quite yet. I still think we're kind of in an early phase of this. Right now, platforms tend to be centripetal in their processes. That is, the more they get used, the more value is extracted and centralized, consolidated. Yeah. We need platforms, and I think platforms as an economic model is in the long run very positive thing, but we need platforms in which where value is being created and being stored and being circulated is more rationally distributed, right? Is more equitably distributed, such that the more people participate in the platform, the more people are adding value to the platform, the more that they are getting back from the platform in this way. And right now this isn't the case. The thing I like about the MATRYX system in this sort of way is that unlike an IP platforms, for example, and this is one of the sort of things, unlike platforms in which that the more it gets used, the more the platform, the more people and the more value it consolidates. In this case, the people who really are generating the value, the researchers, the designers, the scientists, anything that gets put on here, the more that your original contribution gets used, the more value that person gains from the platform. So that the more it gets used, in fact, the more decentralized it becomes, or the more distributed it becomes in this particular way. Now, I think the impact of this that it can have on basic research, the impact that this can have on basic research in science and in math, but certainly a lot of other kinds of things, could be enormously important. And in principle, what a platform like MATRYX provides for is a way for you to contribute and be part of to be part of more than one collaboration, potentially, in ways in which it wouldn't have been possible, before. There's something that you know, something that you do, something that you have an understanding of that is valuable. It's valuable intrinsically, but it's also valuable to the extent to which it's a component of a larger process and a larger project. And you may not know what that project is right now. You may not have to know what that project is right now. You may be able to contribute it in advance, and the rest of the project or someone else will make use of it in a different kind of way. MATRYX allows you then, just like here's the tools to build something new. Once you've built something new, here's the tool to share it with, which is MATRYX. And here's the tool to share it with in a way in which if you share something of value that's of value to other people, they have a way of saying thanks and paying you back for this and just sort of citing you in this as well. Your contribution is recognized in this way. And actually, if you're thinking about, again, to blockchains, it's more of the more high resolution way of sensing, indexing, and calculating value. That's a game changer.